Today, we will see something called constraints in SQL. Constraints. Constraint is nothing but a condition. Constraints in SQL. There are several kinds of constraints in SQL. You say check constraints, not null constraints, default constraints, primary key constraint. And even you have foreign key constraints. So these are the various constraints which are available in SQL. You even have something called a unique constraint. But this is, taken care by the primary key. So, we will not be learning this unique constraint because in the latest versions of Oracle, it is by default taken care by the primary key. So these are the constraints which we will be learning today. Check, not null, default, and primary key. Now, let's see what do you mean by each constraint. We'll see a bit of a theory and then we'll go into our practicals. So the first constraint we will see is something called a check constraint. Now, imagine you have a table with student ID and student name. Okay, so imagine this is your table. You want to give a check condition, like let's say all the student numbers, all the student IDs, they should be starting with a letter called R. Remaining anything I'm okay, 101, or let's say RA101, R308, anything is fine. But let's say you want the first letter to be something, or you want something like this. Every number should start with MCA. The remaining anything is fine. Or you want to say that, at the end it should end up with R. Now, these kind of constraints are called check constraints. Like you give a condition where all the fields in a particular attribute should satisfy something. You say it is a check constraint. Now, this check constraint, you will be specifying it in the creation part itself. You will be specifying it in the creation part itself. So, how to write it, we will see later. Now, let's see what do you mean by the not null constraint. Okay. Now, imagine you do have a table called student ID and student name. Okay, and you create a normal table. You create the table and you even insert. This is how you insert values. Insert values into, let's say this is a table called student. Insert into student values. You will be let's say R101, comma, let's say you enter a name called Nibin. Okay, so now, as of now, here you are entering R101 and you are even entering a name called Nibin. It is very much possible that you can even enter a value like this, R123, comma, okay, R123, and here you are not entering anything. So, you can enter a null value over there. So, it is very much possible that you can enter null values. And then later, you are entering something like null and let's say Sandra. Okay, so here I won't have a value and here I will have a value. Now, if you look carefully into your table, there are attributes which will hold the null value. Look here. Here you have a null. Here also you have a null. So, normal creation of tables, it is very much possible that you can be entering null values as attribute values. Now, you can create a constraint called not null. You can create a constraint called not null. And what you tell is, in the table creation part itself, you will say that it should be not null. Okay, you will say student ID, it should be not null. Student name, that also should be not null, which means student ID can never take the value called null. So the moment you enter such a query, insert into STU values null comma Sandra, you will get an error. Okay, you can even say student name is not null. Student name can never take the value not null, which means you enter such an insert value, there also you will get an error. So not null means you cannot enter null values in a table. So this is what you mean by the not null constraint. Now you even have a constraint called, default. Now default means to take a predetermined value. To take a predetermined value. Okay. So let's say you do have a table called student ID, name, and course. Okay, you have built up such a table and you are inserting values. Okay, the first value you insert, let's say R101, you give a name called Sneha, and you even give a course called MCA. So here what happens is you enter 101, you will be entering Sneha, and here you will be entering MCA. Now, imagine by default, all the students whom you are entering into the table, you want them to take the value called MCA. Or if you don't enter a course, by default it is MCA. For example, like if you are entering something like this, R102, okay, R102, let's say Jojo, R102 Jojo. Sorry, let's even give MSc. So you enter over here R102 Jojo MSc. Okay, this is another course. You are entering a course called MSc. Now imagine you are not entering the course R103. You are entering a new student called R103. Let's say you are entering Maria. You are entering Maria, and you stop over here. You are not entering the course. But what you have in mind is, if you do not enter the course, by default, you should be taking a value called MCA. Okay, I've entered just R103 Maria, but I'm not entering the course, but my SQL itself, by default, for all those whom courses have not been written over here, it should take a default value called MCA. You call it a default constraint. This default constraint, it is also specified when you create the table. Now we'll see all this with the help of our queries. So the first constraint which we will see is the check constraint. How do you enforce? Okay, how do you enforce? We call this enforcing constraints. How do you enforce a check constraint into my table? So let's say I want my TID to always start with, let's say, capital letter. Okay, my TID, I want it to start with T. So like, my TIDs, if you take values like this, might be T101 or T45 or TEA something. Anyway, it should start with T. All my fields in my TID, it should start with T. So how you create your table is the normal creation itself. So here what you will write is, you will write a keyword called check. You're having a check constraint and you are checking TID, like. Like is a keyword. It should look like. Okay, it should start with, or it should look like. The field, it should look like. I'll have it on the next slide so that you can see it clearly. Check TID like in single quotes. You want it to start with capital T. The remaining, whatever it is, you do not bother. Okay, so you write T percentage. Percentage means not the remaining. Percentage means the remaining. So the first letter should be a T, and then the remaining, it can be anything. So this is what you mean by a check constraint. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this over here, put it in my SQL. Okay, I forgot a bracket over here. I didn't close my bracket. This bracket had to be closed. They're telling me I forgot the left parenthesis, right parenthesis. Okay. Age integer 4. Again, I'm having a bracketing problem somewhere. So I have now created my table. It didn't take integer, so I gave a number. It's okay. Now let's insert values into the table. Insert into TCHR. Okay, I'm inserting values into my table. Values. The first is PID. So let's say I am planning to give an ID. Let's say 101, comma. The next is name. Okay, I give a name. Let's say Alfie, and I give an age called 23. Okay, so this is what I am planning to insert. I copy, I paste it over here. Okay, look here. They're telling me check constraint violated. Now somebody tell me what is the problem I have in this particular query? Inserting 101 alpha. So the error here was, check constraint is not satisfied. I told that it should start with a T, but the thing which I entered does not start with a T. So I'll just modify my entry again. I'll copy it. I'll paste it over here. Okay, now I'll be able to create it. So I will be able to create only TIDs which start with T. This is what you call a check constraint. What we saw just is something called a check constraint with like it should look like, start like something, end like something, and all that. Now we'll see another check constraint called in. Okay, so like that like constraint, let it be over there, let it be over there. And let's say you are even entering the gender. Okay, varchar, let's say 2, 4. Okay, you are even entering the gender. And now let's create a table. I created a table, and now let me even insert stuff into my table. Okay, T101 is ID, gender, let's say I'm entering something like this, Alfie 23. Okay, this value will very much be going into my, because I just gave a value of 4 and I entered a huge value. I have entered a row. Now look here. This looks a bit insensible. Okay. The gender of Alfie is something like DFG. But you all know that gender, it usually takes 3 values. Let's say it could either be a male, it could either be a female, or it could be a transgender. These are the only things, the values which usually a gender can take. It should either be M or F or a PG. So we can give such a choice. Like, this is actually a choice. You have 3, out of which you can choose only 1. Now, for such constraints, you will be using the in, a keyword called in. So what I'll do now is, I'll just drop my table again and create it again. Drop table TCHR. Yeah, dropped it. And now let me come to create my table. Now, this gender, it should take in only 3 values. So I type check. I'll close the bracket or I'll forget it. Check. Which field? T gender. T gender in. IN. You write a keyword called in. It can take in any 3 values among. It can either be a male. I write M in quotes because you know T gender is a varchar. It can either be an M, or it can be an F, or it can be a TG. It can be a transgender. So this is what you mean by the check in constraint. When you have a choice, then you can take only any one of this choice. Let's create the table. I'll copy this over here. Okay, I have created a table. Now I'll insert the same alpha again. I am having a problem now. Fatima Fadzana, tell me what is the problem. They very clearly tell that constraint is violated. Very good. So I'll just copy paste my query over here. Yeah, it will take it because you know it satisfies now. It can either be M or F, or it can be TG. Now let us insert a new value. Okay, P101 male. Okay, Jeffy. And see, you know, I'm not interested in entering the name of Jeffy. So, you know, I'll just simply give a null over here. Okay, like, you know, I don't know the name, I don't know Jeffy's age. So, what I'll do is I'll simply insert a null over there. So, whenever you don't want to insert values, you can very much give null, which means, you know, you can enter no value. That will be taken. Now, let's see how the table looks like. Table looks like this. Select star from teacher. Okay, look. You have 2 records. Alfie is complete. Now look here. Jeffy, you have a null value over here. Okay, now but imagine you want to create a table such that null values are not allowed. Null values are not allowed. So let's see how to do it. I'll just drop this table. Drop table teacher, and let's create the same table again. Let's create the same table again. Now what we are seeing is not null. Let's create the same table again with a not null constraint. Now, age is a number, and you know I want to say that you should be entering age. You should be entering age. Okay, so I'll give not null. Okay, table created, and now I'll just put the same thing over here. Control C, the same query. Okay, now we are getting an error. Now, tell me what is the error manual. Because I've given a constraint called not null in my table, I cannot insert null. Same way you can give not null everywhere. That means, you know, compulsorily you should be entering values. You can give not null everywhere, which means, you know, all these I want compulsorily a value inserted. So what I can do is I can redo this table. I'll just drop this again. I'll redo the table. Okay, now all these I've kept not null. You should be entering values everywhere. Okay, marker 2. When I typed it, came that same. Okay, so what I've done is compulsorily you should be entering values everywhere. You cannot leave anything null. So I've just made small changes into my table telling that all fields should be not null. So now let's see about a constraint called default. Okay, now I'll just delete off a few fields so that we just have very minimal fields so that understanding is easy. Okay, you have a student ID. Student ID, it should start with a letter called capital M. And then you have a student name, a course, and age. Okay, so you have such a table with student ID, name, and course. Now, student ID, you will be able to enter only things starting with M. Name, you can be entering anything. Course also, you can be entering anything. You can either enter MSc or MCA, or you can be entering MSW. You do have a choice. You do have a variety of choices for the courses because I'm not given any condition over that. You can either have MSc, or you can have MBA, or you can have MHRM, or you can have MBE, or so on. And you will be even giving the age. Now, look here. You can be entering any course, but imagine you are telling there should be a default course. Let's say there should be a default course, which means imagine you do not enter any course. Imagine you do not enter any course. You can say the default course is MCA. Imagine you do not enter any course. You can say the default course is MCA. You will be giving such a keyword, default. Default MCA. Okay, so let's see how it works. I'm creating my table. Okay, the table is created. I created a table, and now let's enter stuff. Let's enter stuff. I'll simply write insert into STU values. Okay, I can enter a value called M101, comma, name. Name, let's give an. I'm entering a course. Let's say I'm entering a course called MSc, and an age. Let's say I enter an age called 55. Okay, don't worry, I'm not that old. Still, it just came as a random number. Just copy it. Put it over here. Yeah. I created a course called 101 and MSc. Now look here. I did enter course. But what I need is, if I do not enter course over here, by default, this MCA should be taken. Now let's see, in such a case, how do you insert values into your table? So this is how you do it. Insert into. Actually, this is a very easy way of inserting values into a table. Actually, the standard way is you write over here STU, and then here you write each field name. S_ID, S_name. This is actually the long way of entering detail. S_name, S_course, comma, age, values. And then let me enter a new set. Control C, Control V. I'll enter a value, let's say M101. Akhil, let's say MSc, and 25. This is another way of inserting values. This is another way of inserting values. However you insert, values will be taken. But the advantage over here is, like, you can give whichever order you want. But when you directly give it over here, M101 will go into SID, and the second over here will go into the second over here. The third over here will go into the third over here. The fourth over here will go into the fourth over here as per the creation of your table. But here, it is no problem. You can interchange values. Like, you can very much give it like this. S name, you can give S name, comma, SID. And then you can give it in whichever order over here, and you can rearrange things like this over here. No problem. Okay, so you need not follow the exact order as it is in your table when you do it in the elongated way. You can follow whichever way you want. So let me come back. Okay, we'll go for the normal way. I'll have the correct order: SID, SNAME, course, age, and then I have Akhil. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Now look here. Imagine, I'll enter one more so that you know. 102. Sachin. I must have. Let's insert one more. Control C. Okay, Sachin is also created. Select star from student. I always go wrong in my type. Yeah. I've got 3. MSc, MSc, MSW. Now, let's see how to use the default. Imagine you are inserting. You need not enter the course. Okay? You need not enter the course. Now, because you have a default in your query, you will not need to enter the course directly. Look here, let's see. I'm entering M103, and let's say I'm entering details of Sinan. Just copy this, put it over here. One row created, and let's see my table. So look here, Sinan, automatically it came up MCA. I did not enter MCA over here, but it automatically did come as MCA because I have given default as MCA, which means if you do not enter the course, by default, the course will be taken as MCA. Now let's try another way. Insert into STU values, and let's insert a new set. Control C, Control V, M103. Let me give Kirti. Okay, let me put it over there. Copy, paste. Okay, you will get an error. This query, you will get an error because when you write the short insert query, SQL expects how many ever fields are there in your table. Okay, how many fields are there in your table? You do have 4 fields in your table. All the 4 entries should be there. So keep in mind, when you are trying to insert via default, you should follow the long method. Follow this method when you are inserting default. Now we are done with check like in, default not null. Now we'll go to a very important constraint called primary key constraint. Primary key constraint. Now look into this table over here. I do have student ID 101 repeating over here. Repeating, and as you all know, we have learned primary key, we have learned table design and all that, and we know that by default in this particular table, student ID will be the primary key. This is actually insensible. Look here, Anne and Akhil, they're having the same student ID. It is insensible. Okay, so let's see how do you set a primary key in a table. Now, one thing you need to very much remember is all tables should have a primary key. You should not construct a table without a primary key. So the first thing what I'll do is I'll just drop the student table because this was not a proper table design simply because I did not have a primary key. But we just went very simple so that you learn all these other constraints before you learn the primary key. Now look here, I can go on entering actually in this table M101 many times because it is permissible. It is permissible because I have not set any constraint over there. Now let's see how do you define a primary key in a table. So what I'll do is I'll just take the same table again, Control C. Let's see how to create a primary key. So student ID is my primary key. I just simply need to write over here primary. Primary, the spelling is P-R-I-M-A-R-Y-K-E-Y. Primary key by default, it will be not null. Primary key by default, it will be not null. It will be even unique. You cannot repeat it. Unique means, it cannot be repeated. So let me create this table. Copy. I'll paste it over here. I have created a table, and now let's enter stuff into the table. Insert into. Anyway, I do have a default. No? So what I'll do is I'll follow this method. So that student ID, yeah, 101, 101. Arjun, and let's say Arjun is having only 23 years of age. I copy this and I paste this here. I've inserted Arjun, and after which I am inserting Abhishek. I am having an error. Very good. I'm getting an error because I have set student ID as primary key, which means student ID cannot be repeated. Now, type in the chat box whether I'll get an error for this 102 Abhishek. Okay, I'll just copy paste, type in your chat box whether I'll get an error for 102 Abhishek. Type a yes or no. Very good. I will not get an error because this is unique. Earlier one was M101. The second one was unique. Now, when I give a select query, look here. I did not enter MCA, but because default MCA is given, by default I took an MCA. Now this is perfect. 101, 102. You can never insert the same 101 again, which means there'll be only one person with an ID 101, only another person with an ID 102. So student ID is my primary key, which is actually unique and even not. All tables should compulsorily have a primary key. Tables cannot exist without a primary key. Now let's see the next constraint. Foreign key constraint, or you call it referential. Setting a foreign key. Okay. How to set a foreign key? Setting a foreign key. That particular constraint, you call it a referential integrity constraint. Now, let's imagine you are having something like this. Student takes a book. Okay, student from the library, he takes a book. So, we are done with the student table. We've created a perfect student table. It's good over there. Now, let's create a book table. Okay, let's create a table for book, where you will have the book ID, okay, this book name, and let's say the student who took the book. Which student took the book? Now, very simple, because you do have such two entities, an entity called student and an entity called a book, both of which are related. The student table and the book table should be related or linked. Both tables should be linked. And this linking can happen only with the primary key. Linking can happen only with the primary key. So, in the book table, you can have only the primary key of the student table. So let's see what is the primary key of the student table. Okay, you do have a student table over here, out of which student ID is the primary key. So you should be having in your book table the primary key of the student table. You cannot have student name because very simple, student name is not the primary key. You cannot have even the course name because course is not the primary key. You can connect it only with the student ID. So first thing what we'll do is let's create a table for the book. So I'll create a table called book. I will have book ID, which is a varchar. It will be the primary key. And then let's say I will give a condition like it should start with B. I even have book name, which is not null. Okay. So I'm done with my book ID and book name. Now I should create a field called student ID. Now remember, student ID is actually what you call the foreign key. And book ID is what you call the primary key. So in this book table, I do have a book ID, which is the primary key. And student ID, the foreign key, is actually the primary key of my student table. Remember, set the foreign key. Student ID is actually going to be the student ID of my student table. Okay, so see that the data types should be the same. The data type should be the same. If this is varchar 210, have it the same varchar 210. If that was number 4, have the same number 4. Okay, and it is the foreign key. So I write over here foreign key. I write a foreign key over here. I write references because it references another table. Which table does it refer? It refers a table called student. And which field in student? It refers a field called S_ID. Okay, so I write here SID in my table called book. Varchar 210 by, because this was varchar 210, it is a foreign key. It references or it is linked to which table? A table called student. And which field of the table? The student ID, which is the primary key of that particular table. Not a comma over here, that was fine. Okay, and then foreign key, when you write foreign key, please write it in bracket also. Foreign key, student ID, references, which table and which field in that particular table. Now, let's see how to insert values into your new table. Okay, so I'm inserting insert into book values. Okay, the same way like you insert your values earlier, you can give book ID. It should start with book. So I write 101, comma, book name. I can give any name, let's say DBMS, and student ID. Now, look here. Select star from student. Select star from student. You just have two students, M01 and 102. Okay, so I'll give over here M101. You can be entering into the second table only values, SIDs, which you have in the first table. So, that row is created. Let's say this is the primary key, it can't repeat. 101, I have another book called OS, and then I am trying to insert a value called M103. Okay, a student called 103 takes a book. You will not be able to insert. Why? Because in your connected table, in my student table, I do not have a value called 103. That is why in my book table, I cannot insert a value called 103. Very simple. Only a student who is there in the student table can take a book. But very well, I can give 102. 102 is fine. Why? Because 102, there is a student called 102. So, you know, I can insert into that table 102. And the same way, look here, I can have another book 103. 101. He can take again another book, no issues, because it is a one-to-many relationship. So, you know, select start from STU. Look here, I do have only 2 students. Select start from book. Look here, I do have 3 books. 101. He can take any books he wants. 102 also he can take any books. The only thing is the student ID, it should be only values which are there in my parent table. Okay, so this is what you call the referential integrity, connecting 2 tables with the help of the foreign key, and the foreign key can be only the primary key of my first table. If I ask who took 101, who took or which student took 101, look here, I can connect to student table with 101 and I will be able to say Arjun took 101. Arjun took the book 101. If I ask another question, what is the age of the student who took the book 103? The age of the student. Okay, I can get connected to my student table with the foreign key. Foreign key is actually used for connections. Okay, M101 over here, it is a foreign key. So, you know, I go to my student table, I get a connection. I will be able to take this row. What is the age of the student? 23. So, age of the student who took a book called 103 is 23. So this is how you make connections, and that connection you call it referential integrity.